Yes, you will find a homicide at 843 South Pershing. It was a cold December night in 1977 when Wichita police received this chilling phone call. The man on the line had just strangled a young woman named Nancy Fox in her home. He would soon be known only by a set of initials, BTK, short for bind, torture, kill. For 3 decades, the serial killer BTK terrorized Wichita, Kansas, leaving 10 victims in his wake while taunting investigators with letters, poems, and phone calls. How did an unassuming family man hide such a dark secret for so long? This is the story of the BTK Killer and the relentless investigation that finally brought him to justice. On January 15, 1974, the terror began. Joseph and Julie Otero had moved their family to Wichita only months earlier, seeking a peaceful life. That morning, their 3 oldest children left for school, leaving 38-year-old Joseph Otero Sr., his 33-year-old wife Julie, 11-year-old Josephine, and 9-year-old Joey at home. Around 8 a.m., an intruder cut the telephone line and entered the Otero home. He was Dennis Rader, a 28-year-old Air Force veteran. Armed with a pistol, Rader forced the family into a bedroom at gunpoint. What happened next was pure horror. Rader bound their wrists and ankles with rope, then methodically strangled each family member one by one. Little Josephine was taken to the basement, where the killer hanged the 11-year-old girl from a pipe. He later confessed to deriving pleasure from watching her die. The first to discover the scene were the Otero's surviving children. 15-year-old Charlie Otero came home from school with his siblings, confused to find the family's dog outside. Inside, chaos. His mother's purse dumped, furniture overturned. Then a sibling cried out, "Charlie, come quick! Mom and Dad are playing a bad trick on us!" Charlie ran to their bedroom. His mother lay bound on the bed, unrecognizable. His father was on the floor with a belt around his neck. In the basement, police found Josephine's body. Joey's was found in another room. Wichita awakened to a terrifying realization. A brutal killer was on the loose. Police were baffled. A home invasion murder this violent was unheard of. There were few clues. The phone line was cut. A semen sample was collected. No eyewitnesses, no motive, no leads. Then, the unthinkable. Police got a confession. A man claimed responsibility, even naming 2 accomplices. But none of it was true. And the real killer wasn't happy someone else was taking credit. In October 1974, a local editor received a phone tip. He was directed to a library book. Inside it, a letter. The author claimed he killed the Oteros. Furious others were falsely confessing. He wrote, "I did it by myself with no one's help." The letter revealed details only the killer could know. In chilling handwriting, the author signed off with 3 haunting words: bind them, torture them, kill them. Just weeks later, BTK struck again. April 4, 1974. Catherine Bright, 21, was found stabbed in her home. Her brother Kevin had been shot but survived. Kevin described a stocky white man lying in wait. BTK had nearly claimed 2 more lives, but after that, silence. 3 years of it. March 17, 1977. BTK resurfaced. This time, his target was 26-year-old Shirley Vian. Rader gained access to her home by tricking her 5-year-old son into letting him in. He locked the 3 children in the bathroom, even tossing in toys to calm them. Then he strangled Shirley in her bedroom. The kids escaped after he fled and gave police what little they could: a description of a man with a big old ugly face and a black bag. Wichita descended into fear. 9 months later, BTK killed again. Nancy Fox. This time, he called it in himself. Then came letters, poems, and even a postcard mocking police. How many people do I have to kill before I get my name in the paper or some national attention? In February 1978, the police went public. Wichita's chief of police warned, "We believe this individual has the capability to kill again." What no one realized was that BTK was living a perfectly ordinary life. Dennis Rader. Husband, father, church president, Boy Scout leader. He worked for a home security company, ironically installing alarm systems for people terrified of him. Later, he became a compliance officer. But in 1985, he broke his silence. Maureen Hedge, 53, was his neighbor. Rader faked a headache to leave a Boy Scout campout. He broke into Hedge's home, waited in her closet, then killed her. He posed her body at his church before dumping it in a ditch. In 1986, he killed again. Vicki Wagerly, 28. He posed as a repairman, tied her up, strangled her, and left her toddler son beside her body. He kept her driver's license as a trophy. Then, in 1991, Dolores Davis, 62, became his final victim. He broke into her rural home, killed her, and dumped her body under a bridge. And then, silence. Again. In 2004, the Wichita Eagle ran a 30-year retrospective on the BTK case. Rader read it, he couldn't resist. Soon letters arrived again, one containing Vicki Wegerle's stolen driver's license and crime scene photos. Packages followed, dolls mimicking victims, puzzles, word searches with clues. BTK was playing games. Then he made a critical mistake. He asked, "Can you trace a floppy disk?" Police replied in code, "Rex, it will be okay." Rader believed them. In February 2005, BTK sent a floppy disk. Inside the disk, police found metadata. The file had last been modified by someone named Dennis at Christ Lutheran Church. A quick search led them to Dennis Rader, the church council president. He drove a black Jeep, just like the one seen on surveillance footage. To confirm the DNA, police obtained a medical sample from Rader's daughter. It was a familial match. On February 25, 2005, Dennis Rader was arrested. Rader confessed in chilling detail. He described every murder, every plan, every victim. He was more upset about being deceived about the floppy disk than about the lives he'd taken. In court, he showed no remorse. The judge sentenced him to 10 consecutive life sentences. Victims' families spoke through tears, and Rader, emotionless, sat and listened. Today, Dennis Rader sits in solitary confinement at El Dorado Correctional Facility. He claims a demon named Factor X made him do it. No one believes him, but Wichita remembers. In one letter, BTK asked, "How many people do I have to kill before I get my name in the paper?" He got his wish, but not the legacy he wanted. BTK is remembered not as a genius, not as a mastermind, but as a coward who preyed on the innocent and tore families apart. He called himself bind, torture, kill. But in the end, Dennis Rader bound an entire community in fear, tortured the families of his victims with grief, and killed the illusion that we ever truly know our neighbors. The BTK Killer is behind bars, yet the echo of his crimes will bind Wichita forever.